And if another man in this book says, oh, boys will be boys, or, we're men, it's our natural instincts, I'm gonna scream. I think there might be something like sinister going on in this house. Wow. I mean, 5 stars. Incredible. Hello, friends. It is May 1st, and you know what that means. It's gonna be May. Well, yes, but also, it is halfway to Halloween. We are only 6 months away from the best time of the year. And to celebrate, I decided that I was going to bring some of those horror fall vibes into my life by reading some of my most anticipated horror reads of the entire year. What is the TBR, you ask? Let me show you. First, we have You Did Nothing Wrong by C.G. Drews. This was released on March 17th. I immediately purchased it because C.G. Drews has become an auto-buy author for me. I read Hazelthorne and Don't Let the Forest In last year and absolutely loved both of them. Don't Let the Forest In was my top read of the year. I have been so excited. I've been chomping at the bit to get to this one. This is their adult horror debut. Don't Let the Forest In and Hazelthorne were both YA, so I am so excited to see what they are going to do with an adult story. Next, we have Molka by Monica Kim. This was actually released yesterday, but I've had it for a few weeks from Book of the Month. I read this author's debut last year, The Eyes Are the Best Part. I enjoyed it. It wasn't like a new favorite, but I did enjoy it. It wasn't as horror forward as I was expecting, but now that I am familiar with Monica Kim's writing style, I feel like I'm going into this one with a little bit more of a realistic expectation, and I am so excited. And lastly, unfortunately, I do not have my copy of it yet. It is on its way from Aardvark. It is Japanese Gothic by Kylie Lee Baker. This book released April 14th. I guess Aardvark did a special edition of this book and they did an initial sell, but once those sold out, they had to do a reprint. So I got mine in the reprint. So it is not here yet, but I am so excited to get it into my hands because I read Bat Eater and Other Names by Cora Zhang, which was this author's debut horror novel last year, and absolutely loved it. 5 stars. So knowing that I very much enjoy every single one of these authors, my expectations are so high, and I am just so excited to bring some of that horror autumnal feelings into my life right now. I'm thinking maybe I will find a good horror movie to watch. I'm thinking maybe I will peruse some recipes, maybe bake a little fall treat. I just want to bring some Halloween energy into my week and bring you along with me. I am so happy you're here, and I hope you join me on my spooky week of reading. So I decided to start with Molka by Monica Kim. This, even though I am so excited for it, this is the one that I have kind of the lowest expectations for, just because I wasn't obsessed with The Eyes Are the Best Part, but this premise sounded so good. I had to check it out. And I am happy to say that I am liking it so far. I'm on chapter 13. How fitting. I am on page 122. I wouldn't say I would say I'm a little under 50%. I'm almost at 50%, and it is definitely making me feel things. We're following 2 perspectives. Jun Yong, I'm not going to pronounce these names very well, and I vehemently apologize. So our first perspective is this man, this absolute creep who has set up cameras all over his office, mostly in the women's restrooms. He spends like his entire workday just leering at women through all of his hidden cameras. Being in his head is absolutely revolting. Like his mindset of, oh, I'm not doing anything wrong because it's not like I'm hurting anybody, even though he is literally like violating these women. It's disgusting. And if another man in this book says, oh, boys will be boys, or, we're men, it's our natural instincts, I'm gonna scream. Like, what are your natural instincts? To be a predator? And he's been pretty equally leering at all of the women in his office, but one in particular has recently kind of caught his focus, and he has become obsessed with Dahi. Dahi is this sweet, shy woman. She is kind of like the black sheep of her family. She really feels like she is the disappointment of the family. Dahi is dating this minor celebrity. He's the son of the CEO of this massive tech company in South Korea. At first, he seemed nice enough, but there are these little things that he will do and these kind of undertones of wanting to be really controlling and of wanting to do things that he wants to do, even if it makes her uncomfortable. On the surface, and definitely to Dahi, it feels like he is, a sweet enough guy, lavishing her with his wealth, giving her things. But you can absolutely tell that this man, this predator, is taking advantage of her low self-esteem and her kind of need to please people. It is very icky, to say the least. But everything in the relationship changes when Dahi and Hyukjun have a video of them in bed together leaked online, and Hyukjun pieces out, leaving Dahi to kind of handle this fallout and this aftermath alone. He is called home by his father to do some damage control, and this leaves Dahi absolutely heartbroken, but also really paranoid. I mean, understandably. She's starting to see things that can't possibly be real. And it's such a strange coincidence that this woman had this horrendous thing happen to her where she was filmed against her will without her knowledge. And this sex tape was leaked online while she's also being violated at work with, what is his name again? With Jun Young, leering at her during the workday. And I don't think they are necessarily connected. It just feels like this woman has such bad luck, but I'm not sure. It feels like a weird coincidence. This hasn't totally sucked me in yet, to be honest. I mean, I am definitely liking it, but it is a little bit slow. It's kind of the same feelings I had with The Eyes Are the Best Part, but this definitely does have the starting of that really creepy atmosphere and this imagery that I'm really enjoying. I'm hoping now that this scene is kind of set that we do kind of start to pick up pace a little bit. I am definitely intrigued to find out more. I am excited to get back into this, especially to find out if what Dahi is seeing is real or if she's having a mental break. And I'm not really sure how these two stories are going to connect, but I guess we'll see. I'm excited to find out. Hello friends, I have finished Mocha by Monica Kim, and I enjoyed this one. It is definitely an anger-inducing book, but it is meant to be. This book was written to upset you, to make you angry, and it absolutely succeeds in its goal. It is upsetting. It is disturbing. It is infuriating. The amount of misogyny in this book, the lack of consequences for these men, but when the women do the same exact thing, they are met with the harshest consequences. It did have some of those kind of good for her feminine rage vibes, but this was really just 300 pages of men being absolute trash. These men are so entitled. They are arrogant, so toxic, walking red flags, and they truly are just predators. I cannot adequately describe to you how disgusting the men are in this book. So icky. So icky. The middle continued to be a little bit slow, but the ending, ace of this book, the ending quarter maybe, was an absolute roller coaster. The door was so easily openable, but if she can't fit her body through it, she's not going through it. If you've read The Eyes Are the Best Part, this one definitely has a different toned ending than that one. I mean, I still enjoyed the ending of this one and how it wrapped up, but it's not as hopeful, I feel, as The Eyes Are the Best Parts ending was. I really do enjoy Monica Kim's writing style. It is unsettling, almost always upsetting, but it's also easily digestible, and she does a really good job of talking about the real life modern day issues through this horrific lens. Her stories do tend to be a little bit on the slower paced side in my opinion, but I do still feel like they are definitely intriguing enough to keep you wanting to turn the pages and to find out what is going to happen next. I absolutely loved the paranormal kind of ghostly aspect of this story. It was so creepy and so well done. I was honestly hoping for a little bit more vengeance, a little bit more fury, and there is a lot of lead up to what, in my opinion, is a pretty quick conclusion. There were also a few things in this that just didn't make sense to me. I can't get into what those are without going into spoilers, but a couple of things in here had me like, what are you doing? Like, why? What? I couldn't comprehend it. Overall, I really enjoyed this one. I'm going to give it 4 stars. It was not perfect, but there is so much to love about this one. If you want to read a book about men being absolute garbage, heinous, disgusting for 300 pages with like a sprinkle of revenge and rage, I would recommend this one. I also got a very exciting package in the mail today. I got Japanese Gothic. I am so excited. This is actually my first aardvark box. I'm not sure whether I'm going to continue to get the monthly charges to get the aardvark boxes, but I'm thinking about switching over to aardvark versus Book of the Month because I do have a Book of the Month subscription as well, and I don't want to pay for both. But looking at Aardvark's selections, I feel like they have more books that I would be interested in versus Book of the Month, but I'm unsure. But I am so excited to check this baby out. It is a special edition of Japanese Gothic by Kylie Lee Baker, and I thought we would open it together because I'm so excited. I actually came prepared this time. Oh, it doesn't flip up nice and satisfying. I have to push it. Okay. Let's see. Oh, he's so pretty. Ooh, goodies. What a cute little bookmark. Plot twist enthusiast. Cute. These are so much cuter than the stupid Book of the Month bookmarks. I hate the Book of the Month bookmarks. They're just dark blue and they have weird little quotes on them. They're not even like cool book quotes. I don't know. I don't like them very much, but this I can get behind. Very cute. Ma'am. Her and freaking boxes. She's like, ooh, a box. That's mine, right? Please stop. It's very noisy. Oh my gosh. She is beautiful. Hey, Monica Kim blurbed this. And Marcus Kluwer, I don't know how to say that name. Kluwer, the author of We Used to Live Here. I am so excited for his new book, The Caretaker, as well. We actually just got May's Aardvark selections, and The Caretaker is one of those. So I think I am absolutely going to get that from this as well. So this is a special edition, it said, but I mean, the edges, there's no sprayed edges or anything. So is it the naked? Oh, it's the naked hardcover. Oh boy, that is pretty. Oh my gosh, that is stunning. The way of the samurai is found in death. Oh my gosh, I am obsessed. She is gorgeous. Oh, there's a skeleton. I didn't even see the skeleton. Oh my gosh. She's stunning. I love it. I am so excited to get into this one. I think I might save this one for last. I don't know, because C.G. Drews did have my favorite book of the year last year. So should I save them for last, or should I save Japanese Gothic for last? I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about it, but I was so excited. I could not wait to open this, and I figured I would share a little unboxing with you. She's stunning. I love her. But that is all for now. I will let you know when I have decided what book I'm actually going to start next and when I have a little bit of an update for you. Hello friends. I have gotten a haircut since the last time you saw me. My split ends were so bad, so I had to get quite a bit of it chopped off, but I like it. I usually go through these phases of letting it grow out until it just needs some rejuvenation back into it, and then I chop like 5 or 6 inches off. So this is the cycle that we go through. So it is quite a bit shorter than the last time you saw me, and I'm always questioning, like, if I'm in the middle of a video, should I wait until that video's over to do anything like different with my hair, like dye my hair or cut my hair? But I was like, no, it needs done. It's Discount Tuesday at the Supercuts, so I'm getting my hair cut today. I have also started Japanese Gothic by Kylie Lee Baker. I just finished part 1. I reached part 2. I am 90 pages in, and I am loving this so far. Kylie Lee Baker's writing is so lyrical and beautiful, but yet so dreadful and gruesome. It's fantastic. We're following 2 characters, one of which is a college man named Lee Turner living in the year 2026. He has murdered his roommate, but he doesn't remember why or any events leading up to it or after. He just remembers that he murdered his roommate. He's been a very unreliable narrator so far, which I love. I'm very intrigued to see what, if anything, from Lee's perspective is true and what's just in his head. And then he simply just finds himself at his father's new home in Japan. Assumedly, he flees his college, NYU, to kind of lay low after the murder of his roommate. Lee and his father aren't close. They really haven't been, especially since the disappearance of Lee's mother 8 years ago. And this, of course, becomes a very prevalent thing in Lee's mind. He's constantly dreaming of his mother and picturing what could have happened to her. And he really hasn't been the same since. Obviously, he's a very troubled. This traumatic experience has affected him a lot. So he doses himself up on any kind of drugs that he can get his hands on, mostly like Benadryl or Ativan, like prescription over-the-counter stuff. But he keeps himself high to kind of quiet his mind and numb the rest of the world. And then we have Sen. She is a young woman, samurai in training, living in the year 1877. Her family is in exile after the samurai rebellion that her father was a part of fails. They're hiding from the government because Sen's father refused to surrender. Like a lot of the other samurais did, they decided to, be stripped of their samurai title and kind of integrate into normal society, but not Sen's father. And Sen wants nothing more than to become a samurai and really just to make her father proud, even though that is a Herculean task. Like, he is so ruthless, he's so cold, but that does not stop our sweet Sen from trying. But there is something about this house that they have both found in their time of need, Lee to kind of escape and lay low from his situation, and Sen and her family hiding from the government behind these sword ferns. This house that they share, but 150 years apart. It's seeming like their timelines are starting to kind of bleed into each other. They keep seeing glimpses of each other. Each one of them think they're going a little crazy, or that just something is strange with this house, that it's haunted and they're seeing ghosts, until they finally come face to face through their closet door. I am absolutely loving both of these storylines, both of these characters. There are so many questions, so much mystery. The atmosphere is so creepy and eerie. This story is already just like so jam-packed with ghosts in so many forms. I am like picking up so many small, I'm thinking are like foreshadowing moments, and I just cannot wait to continue. Loving it so far. Hello, friends. I am back. Also, I forgot to mention, I mean, I know I've shown you this bookmark before, but I just thought it was so fitting with this book. Granted, it's not a samurai sword, but it's a sword. And she's cute. I love seeing the vibes with the samurais and the little sword bookmark. Love it. Anyway, I don't have a lot to say. Like, there's not much of an update, but I did want to just pop in and tell you that I reached part 3. I'm on page 190 and I'm obsessed. I'm hooked. It's got me. I am so intrigued. I cannot wait to find out what the hell is going on at this house. The haunted house, liminal spaces, fever dream vibes are incredible. And Kylie Lee Baker's writing is stunning. It kind of feels like a trap, though. She is like lulling you in with her beautiful prose, and it kind of pulls you in like a lullaby. And then once you're close, you realize how like dreadful and melancholic it is, but by then you're hooked. It's kind of like she's like whispering sweet nothings into your ear, but those sweet nothings are that she's going to pluck out your eyeballs and squeeze them between her fingers until they burst. And it's fantastic. I love it. Also wanted to note that Lee's dad is kind of a creep. There are some things about him that are absolutely giving me the ick. Also, Sen's dad is an absolute psycho, savage. Like, the things that he is putting her through in the name of like training and making her stronger is bonkers, absurd. And poor Sen's like, yes, thank you for teaching me this lesson, father. Like, I don't know, like it's crazy that, I mean, I know that the samurai are known for their brutality, but just seeing it honed on a little girl. I mean, I don't know, she's like a teenager, I guess, but she's just a baby and she's going through so much hardship. That being said, I am loving the parallels that are being drawn between Sen and Lee. It's just so good. And again, I just cannot wait to find out what the hell is going on and to continue this book. Hello, friends. Oh my gosh. So I just reached part 4. We're in the in-game now, friends. This is how much I have left. I don't know. It's maybe 344 to 303. I have like 40 pages left, and whew, we're just going to finish this together because I do not know what's about to happen, but with a part titled The Beginning, it's going to be good. I'm excited. So we're going to sit down and we're going to finish the last 30 pages of Japanese Gothic together. Okay. I've read a page, and this is not what I was expecting.
Deep in the night, fear takes its hold. The darkness creeps, the story unfolds. Lost in the maze of a twisted mind, haunted by shadows, even me blind. Haunted by shadows deep in the night, my eyes wide open, searching for light. The fear grips my soul, won't let me go. Haunted by shadows.
Oh my gosh, my babies. Ah.
To the unknown.
Oh my gosh. What? Wow. I mean, 5 stars. Incredible. Guys, that ending, wild. Like, before the very last chapter, and the last chapter is like 3 pages, I was like, okay, wow. Where is this last chapter going? And then that last chapter happened, and everything was just brought together. Also, why did I almost cry? Like, that was so tragic. God, both of these fathers, man, I don't even know what to say. The generational trauma of these two. Both of these characters were so complex, so interesting, and they both had such a complicated and truly traumatic relationship with their families. I surprisingly loved the historical aspects of this book. I loved learning about the samurai. Like, you can tell that Kylie Lee Baker really did her research and that this is a place and a time that is like really important to her. It just seeped through the pages. I also loved the constant tension, the mystery throughout the entire thing until the very last chapter. And there are still some mysteries. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I am still a little bit confused as to what was real and the logistics of like what was actually happening there towards the end. But overall, stunning. Kylie Lee Baker is truly so talented. Like, the complexity of this story and how everything is so tied together, the parallels, the foreshadowing, the themes that are discussed, and how she explores each aspect of this book, and the characterizations, like these characters, I felt so much reading this book. Everything was truly so well done. I highly recommend this if, one, you have read Kylie Lee Baker before and are questioning for some reason picking this up. Please absolutely do it. But if you haven't read Kylie Lee Baker in the past and you are thinking of picking this up, I would recommend it if you like a very slow burn but gruesome horror with historical elements, constant tension, constant mystery, constantly questioning like what you were reading and if it is real or not, and not necessarily getting all of those answers by the end. I mean, it was wrapped up so well. Like, everything was really brought together, but there are still a little bit of those things that I either don't understand or I'm just like weren't necessarily explained. I do kind of wish that some of the things were explained a little bit more, especially like with the logistics of what was like actually happening. But with that last chapter, I am really just letting the magic of this house and what's happening at the end kind of explain and rationalize all of the things that I have questions about. I'm just like, that's just how this magic works. And I'm just okay with that. Throughout this pretty much whole time, I was questioning whether this was going to be a 4.5 versus a 5. I was really leaning towards probably like a 4.5, like fantastic, but maybe not necessarily those like 5-star feels the entire time. But after reading the last like 5 pages of this book, and having that reveal, I couldn't give it anything less than a 5-star. I could honestly see why this wouldn't work for some people, but I feel like the people that like a story like this with her beautiful lyrical writing style, the very imaginative, bordering speculative story that we have here, I think it is really going to hit. And I am so happy that I am one of those people and that this went so well for me. I loved this so much. And that just makes me even more excited to have this just stunning special edition. I mean, oh my gosh, have you seen the Evernight edition? I saw the Evernight edition online yesterday and gagged. Like, I'll put pictures up. Stunning. I mean, I'm not a person that likes to spend more than like $10 or $15 on a book, but that one, stunning. But I am very satisfied with my copy. I do kind of wish that the dust jacket was kind of what was special, or that we got some sprayed edges, but the naked hardcover, man, beautiful. I'm so happy that I loved this one just as much as I did Bat Eater. Having both this and Bat Eater be 5 stars, like, I'm really going to have to get into her backlist. Granted, I know they're not horror, they're fantasy. I think they may be like fantasy with a touch of horror, which sounds right up my alley. I don't know what they're about, but after loving both of her books, like, her writing is stunning. I am definitely going to have to add those to my TBR because I want to consume everything this woman has ever touched. I do kind of regret not saving this one for last with how much of a win it was, but hey, we still have C.G. Drews, the author that wrote my favorite book of 2025. So my expectations are still very high that we are going to end this vlog on a banger. But Japanese Gothic is absolutely going to be a tough act to follow. Phenomenal. Hello friends, happy Thursday. I have a couple of appointments today, so I just took the entire day off work. It's been a while since I've had a day, not including the weekends, of course, that I had a day off and to myself. So I do have a couple of appointments that I have to do, but I thought that since it is time to start You Did Nothing Wrong by C.G. Drews, did we save the best for last? I guess we will see. Quite the follow-up from Japanese Gothic with how much I freaking loved that book. I'm hoping that this one hits just as hard, but I thought that maybe we would stop and get lunch, maybe go to a cafe. I would bring my book along, bring you along, and we would just have a day out on the town. I do have a Panera gift card, so maybe stop at Panera for lunch, but I've also never been to where I have to go for this appointment, so we'll see what's around and see what looks good. I am so excited to start this baby. I think I have the audiobook as well, so I think I'm going to start it on my way to the doctor if I can concentrate, because like I said, I've never been to where I have to go to this appointment, and if I'm like watching the directions, I can't super focus on the book. So we'll see how much I actually get done. But yeah, I thought it would be fun to get some lunch and do some reading. So let's go. Hello friends. The afternoon did not go quite as planned. The appointment took longer than I thought it was going to, and they gave me a stupid albuterol breathing treatment for my breathing test, and this always just makes me so jittery and it like spikes my heart rate, so I wasn't feeling great afterwards. And then I had to drop off some library books, and I don't know what was in my mind that I thought going to the downtown library was a good idea, but it was not. I hate downtown. It's like a stupid mini New York with the traffic and people walking everywhere and nowhere, absolutely nowhere to park. And all I wanted to do was drop off my library books, but God forbid. So after circling the library a couple times, I was over it and just went to my local library. I mean, it was a little bit out of the way from where I was coming from, but I said, screw it. I just wanted to go home at that point. So we did not go to a cute, cozy cafe. So I need to make lunch because I am hungry. But I did manage to listen to about 20% of, what's it called? You Did Nothing Wrong. I don't know why my mind just blanked on the title. I think it's You Did Nothing Wrong, but I'm really enjoying it so far. I am going to make some lunch and sit down, decompress, and maybe watch a little YouTube, and then I will be back with my initial update because I am really liking it. C.G. Drew's writing is just so good. So I will be back with my thoughts. I just wanted to let you know kind of what was going on because things did not go according to plan, but that's okay. We're pivoting, we're adjusting, and we're going to have a good rest of the day. Okay, I have been fed. I have decompressed. I feel better now. I made it about looking at where I am in the audiobook. I'm on chapter 7, so I made it 56 pages into, I was right, You Did Nothing Wrong. And again, really enjoying it so far. I love C.G. Drew's writing. We're following a family who just moved into a new house. It is a house that needs a lot of work. We have Elodie. I wanted to call her Melody, but I knew that wasn't right. We have Elodie and Bren, the husband and wife. And then we also have a 6-year-old child named Jude. I was close. Jude. And Jude is not Bren's, I don't believe, but he is also a very troubled young boy. I don't want to say troubled. He has a lot of struggles, and Elodie has a really hard time managing his very clearly autistic symptoms. She kind of refuses to acknowledge that there is anything wrong with him. Not that there's something wrong with being autistic, but that she feels that any admission of him not being normal is a detriment to her. So anytime the doctor brings up like getting him assessed, or if any of his teachers brings it up, she immediately gets defensive and shuts it down. So that is a really interesting aspect of this book, seeing his struggles with autism and Elodie's just absolute like self-ignorance. She just does not accept it. But again, they just moved into this house and Jude is like terrified of this house. He keeps saying he does not like it here. He is scared. He keeps mentioning that he's afraid that the house is going to eat him, and he hears these weird voices and like skittering in the walls. And his mom's like, baby, it's an old house, you know, but I think there might be something like sinister going on in this house. Elodie is also pregnant with her second child with Bren. So I am very interested to see how their dynamic is going to change once this baby comes along. And I'm really liking Bren so far, but there's been a couple things that make me like, do we like him, or is something going to happen to make me regret saying that he seems like a sweet guy? I don't know. Like I said, my flags, my heckles are raised. I am not suspicious yet, but I am tentative, I think is a good word. I am tentative towards my feelings towards Bren. So only time will tell. We will see. Again, very early on, so I am very intrigued to continue and to get some more information. The audiobook says I'm about 20% of the way through, so this is a pretty short book. Let me see how many pages it actually is. Oh, I'm like, where are the pages? I was looking up at the top. Turns out they're at the bottom. It is 292 pages, so under 300 pages. So this should not take me long, which is great for a readathon. Lexi is actually hosting some sprints right now. as we speak. So I think I am going to hop on to some sprints and continue this because I'm really enjoying it so far. The house is very creepy. Like, obviously there's like holes in the walls from where they're like redoing wiring, and it is a death trap for a child, but it is also just has this very eerie, creepy atmosphere to it that I'm really enjoying. It feels sinister, and I am excited to learn more. Hello, friends. I am on page 194 of You Did Nothing Wrong. I'm about 65% of the way through, I would say. I am very much enjoying it. I will say up until about 50%, I'm not gonna lie, I was getting just like a touch bored with it. It, for some reason, was feeling kind of repetitive. Her days with her son Jude were kind of starting to just kind of mesh together. But now that we have gotten some mysteries and some intrigue, I am devouring it. There's so many things about all three of these characters' past that we do not know that I am ravenous to discover. These two haven't been married for very long, and I think they were only together for a few months when they did eventually get married and end up getting pregnant. So these two really don't know each other all that well, and they are really starting to clash heads with their parenting styles of Jude. And I'm not gonna lie, with this being a family story, it was kind of feeling like a domestic thriller, especially towards the beginning half of the book, which I'm not a huge fan of. But I mean, C.G. Drew's writing really is doing a lot of heavy lifting here in this book because their writing is just gorgeous and gruesome, and I love it. And now that we're starting to get things that I don't know what's real, and that is one of my favorite things in horror books, not knowing like who or what to trust and what's actually happening. And we're getting a lot of that with Elodie's perspective. She is starting to see things and experience things in this house that are unexplainable, and it's so good. And along the same lines of not being a huge fan of domestic thrillers, I'm also not a huge fan of books involving children. I was just struggling with the plot a little bit, but we are starting to pick up. There are so many questions that I absolutely need answers to. So I am very intrigued to finish this baby up and to see what is happening, both with this house and with Elodie's past, with Bryn's past, and something happened with Elodie and Jude that I am ravenous to find out. I do have quite a bit of cleaning to do today, so I'm hopeful that I should be able to pop on the audiobook while I'm cleaning and finish this baby up. I think I only have like maybe 150 pages left. Oh, this is only like 300 pages. So I have 100 pages left. So I should be able to finish that on the audio in a couple of hours. And then I will get back to you with my final thoughts. Hello, friends. I have finished You Did Nothing Wrong by C.G. Drews, and what a twist ending. One of them, I saw coming a mile away, but the other one had my jaw on the floor. That being said, however, this one did not hit nearly as hard as their other two books have for me. This really felt more like a domestic thriller, which is something that I am not a huge fan of, rather than kind of like a haunted house story, which is what I was more expecting. And there are some horror elements, but this definitely felt more like a domestic thriller than a horror. Their writing is still phenomenal. It is beautiful, it is visceral, it is gruesome, and they write obsession so well. The way that all of their characters are just so codependent on other people and truly just obsessed, like wanting to crawl into each other's skin, I love. But the actual plot of this one and the kind of family dynamic, although intriguing enough, was not my favorite. The constant talk of the tragic and dark pasts of Elodie and Bren did keep me interested enough to, finish and wanting to know what was going to happen and wanting to know about these mysterious pasts. But unfortunately, I was not consumed. I was not obsessed, which are feelings that I have definitely come to associate with C.G. Drews' writing. So this one was a bit of a letdown. And I feel like this absolutely is a me problem and not necessarily the book problem, because I am not a fan of domestic thrillers, and shame on me for not doing enough research going in. I still absolutely would have picked it up, to be honest, even had I known how domestic thriller it would lean, because it's C.G. Drews. I'm not going to not pick it up. Finding out what we did, though, and the revelations at the end, this book definitely made me feel things, mostly anger and sadness for our poor sweet boy Jude. All of the adults in this book are so unlikable, but especially Elodie. There is so much depth with her mental instability and traumatic past that bleeds into her every waking moment. And even before we find out exactly what is going on, the entire book, you just want to scoop this sweet little boy Jude up in your arms and carry him away to safety. And this whole story, the entire time, you are questioning if what we're being told is actually real and happening, or if there's something supernatural going on, or if we're just dealing with mental illness and metaphors. The ending does clear up most of it. I did enjoy the ending, even though some of the characters' choices made absolutely no sense to me. But the majority of the questions that you have throughout the story are answered, but I did feel like there were definitely some things that are left unexplained. And again, the middle did just kind of lull for me. It got a little repetitive. I don't want to say I was getting bored. It wasn't quite that bad, but there definitely was a lull in the middle. But the ending was very action-packed. The atmosphere of this haunted, hungry Gothic house in constant disrepair from all of Bren's renovations was such a creepy setting, and I really did like it. I love a haunted house, and C.G. Drews really did paint such an unsettling picture with this one. I just wish we would have gotten a little bit more of that. And the autism representation in this book is incredible. My heart broke over and over again for our poor sweet boy Jude. Even with all of his lashing out and tantrums, he was just a scared little boy that needed more structure, more care, more attention, and more love than he was receiving. Overall, I did enjoy this one, just not nearly as much as their YA work that I've read so far. I'm going to give it 4 stars. It's probably more accurately like a 3.75. Definitely my lowest C.G. Drews to date, but I will absolutely continue to pick up everything that they write. If you like a creepy atmospheric setting, but mix that with kind of a domestic thriller with obsession and like toxic codependency, constantly questioning whether what you're being told is real or not, and beautiful writing, I would recommend this one. Thank you so much for joining me on my little endeavor to bring some spooky Halloween vibes into my springtime for the celebration of halfway to Halloween. I read 2 4-stars and a 5-star, so I cannot complain. Let me know down in the comments if you've read any of these books and what your thoughts on them were, or if you want to just leave me an emoji to let me know you were here. Leave me any sword emoji for Japanese Gothic. And while you're down there, don't forget to like the video if you liked it and subscribe if you want to see more from me in the future. I hope you are loving what you are reading lately. Continue to stay safe out there, and I will see you very soon in another video. Bye, friends.
Before you go, then make me. You didn't think I'd be here waiting up all night, all night. I'm here to tell you something. There ain't another love that is gonna hold you down like mine.